Welcome back to the Between the Headset podcast with yours truly, Jalen Connor, the comedic voice of sports intelligence. Thank you for tuning in today. Let's get into today's episode. Can we all just take a moment of silence and just take one deep breath for all the up and down emotions, excitement, everything that round two just overwhelmed us with? Just 1 second. Now let's get into it. Celtics and Cavs. The Celtics were able to finish the Cavs in 5, which is like, that shouldn't even happen. The Celtics should be undefeated right now so far in the playoffs, all right? No team in the East can match up well with them. They're the most overpowered, team that I done seen in a minute, bro. And we don't talk about that enough, bro. The Celtics starting 5 might just be the greatest starting 5 ever, bro. I know we seen the Golden State Warriors. They had Steph, Clay, KD, Draymond. I'm so glad DeMarcus Cousins didn't play that year. But yeah, I know we seen that squad. But hold on, let me really think about it. Drew Holiday, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Porzingis. Devin White starts too. Devin White, Drew Holiday, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Porzingis. That's 5 All-Stars. Literally, that's 5 All-Stars, bro. Two-way All-Stars. All of them are two-way All-Stars, bro. They have an overly stacked team. So I say that to say, Celtics versus Cavs, we knew they would finish them in no more than 5 games. I said it should have been 4. They should be 8-0 right now up to this point. So yeah, we don't even have to talk about that much. Pacers over Knicks in 7. Now this series is one that honestly, if you watch every game of every series, this might have been the most entertaining series. Like when we talk about lead changes, talk about role players becoming swole players, like this series gave you all of that. Pacers over Knicks in 7. Unfortunately, the Knicks were very short-handed. Basically, their whole starting 5 and 6-man was banged up throughout the series, if not before. So, I mean, what a New York way to go out, right? Like they battled so hard to get to the position they in. Jalen Brunson carried them to the point they were in. And then it's like the Pacers just got him figured out. It's like, yeah, he's the only playmaker they got. Just blitz him with double teams at times, bump him up a little bit. We already know you have to put a wing on Brunson because a guard, he's going to torch that, which is crazy. He's just too strong, too quick, too skilled for any guard trying to guard him. So you got to guard him with a wing. And you play physical with them, they start to get the hang of it, start to send double teams at him. Made other guys hit big shots like DiVincenzo, Josh Hart just had in third, but with everyone else being hurt basically on the team, other than DiVincenzo or maybe a McBride who will give you a bucket here and there, it's like, who else do you go to when your star player is injured and they're also double teaming, you know? So very unfortunate way for the Knicks to go out. But however, Tyrese Halliburton with a huge game 7, I believe it was either quarter 2 or quarter 3, he caught fire, started draining from deep. He started to look like the old Tyrese Halliburton right before the All-Star break. You start seeing him smiling around, dancing around, hitting the nay a little bit, you know. That was the Tyrese Halliburton that we all fell in love with, who seemingly was going to be the face of the league, it looked like before the All-Star break. Adding him to the USA team, him being like the All-Star game being in Indiana, it was a lot for Tyrese. And I don't know, maybe his confidence got a little shattered after a couple bad games after the break or something. But it seems like the real problem is he was just being too passive. Like Tyrese Halliburton is a very great player when he's being an aggressive scorer and an aggressive facilitator. But first, that starts with him being aggressive, trying to get his, and then, you know, the rest of the offense to get the flowing. So that's what he began to do in like quarter 2 last night, and then that's when the Indiana Pacers took off, and they just didn't have enough to get back in it with them being shorthanded. Very unfortunate way for the Knicks to go out. They fought hard this year. I'm excited to see what they can do next year with their whole core being healthy. They got a lot of big pieces. Julius Randle, another All-Star. Bogdanovich has been a great role player in this league for years. Jalen Brunson, a superstar. Josh Hart, another All-Star. DiVincenzo. So they got the guys. They got the pieces. They just got to all stay healthy, stay together, and believe that they can win. So let's clap it up for the Knicks on a great season. But now we can head over to the West. Why did I just do that? I don't even know. We can head over to the West. Mavericks over Thunder in 6. This series was highly entertaining. I must admit, though, I thought it was going to go to 7 games. If there was 2 series out of this whole playoffs that I was for sure was going to go to 7, I thought it was going to be the Timberwolves and Nuggets and Mavericks over Thunder. We were still spoiled to get to see 6 games with these 2 teams, but overall, the Mavericks were too much for the Thunder. I believe the hype. I believed it. A lot of people told me that the Thunder were the most overrated 1 seed they see in a minute. I'm like, I don't know, man. They got a star player. They got an up-and-comer, a rookie that's a that can be a superstar. They got a 2, a 3, but it seemed like those roles weren't all the way filled in the playoffs. Big night from Shea, 36 points. I believe no turnovers as well. Great night from Shea. He was able to hold up his end of the bargain, but I don't know, when you look back at the rest of the team, I think Chet, he had a great performance in Game 7. I think the whole squad had a great performance in Game 7, able to score 116 points, but they just couldn't get stops. The Mavericks, they played their game. P.J. Washington, who is the usual number 3 option throughout this series, he didn't come alive till late, but he had some huge shots down the stretch, 2 big threes, 2 free throws to seal the game. Overall, both squads, I think they played up to their potential. It's just the Mavericks were able to string together a couple more stops and overcome that lead that OKC had developed overall. So, congrats to the Mavericks. Luka Doncic, you are the final man standing out of the MVP contestants. So, hey, in my eyes, it's your ring to lose, right? You're the last one standing out of the MVP, so you are the best player in the playoffs right now. Prove it, Luka. Prove it. Go get that ring. Now, the series we all were entertained by, the one I couldn't wait to talk on, the Timberwolves versus Nuggets. That boy earned.
Nation point from Rudy Gobert as
that boy earned was able to overcome the defending champs in 7 games. And you see me, oh, where we at? You see me, it's stripes over checks today, man. I don't know how y'all feeling, but I'm stripes over checks, man. That boy AE got busy. Not just last night, but throughout the series. Huge game from Karl Anthony Towns, who finally showed up. Karl Anthony Towns, thank you. That's all you had to do, man. That's all you had to do. A nice 20 plus from Karl Anthony Towns. The whole starting 5 was able to finish with double figures, and that was just overall just too much for the Nuggets, who only seemed to get any contribution from Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic, which is unusual to see from this team, who usually always is all on one accord, and that's why they win so many games. But yeah, Jokic and Murray were the only 2 to finish in double digits. Yes, double digits out of everyone on the team, 35 from each of them. And overall, it just wasn't enough with a team effort from Minnesota. AE didn't even play his best, but Cat, Rudy Gobert, Mike Conley, Naz Reid all showed up to play today. They all played defense last night, and overall, that wasn't enough for them to get the win. Before you ask me why I got on my futuristic goggles, I'm going to tell you, it's time for a new segment called Sid's Predictions. Celtics versus Pacers. Let me tighten up my goggles a little bit. According to my predictions, it's saying that the Celtics will beat the Pacers in 5 games. Yes, that is correct. 5 games. I first started said 4 games, but it says that Jason Tatum will shoot tour dates and become Ben Simmons in Game 4 of this series. So yeah, they'll be in Indiana, and it says that overall Jason Tatum will fold to the pressure in Indiana and shoot a tour date and turn it to Sharman Ocho. So okay, yeah. So Jason Tatum will fold per usual. The Celtics can never be perfect for some reason, so they give Indiana 1 game, and then after that they'll beat Indiana by 20 in Game 5, and then the series will be over. So yeah, Celtics will be going to the finals. The Western Conference Finals. My predictions has that Timberwolves will win in 6 games. Yes, it says that The Timberwolves do match perfectly with the Dallas when it comes to height. Dallas has the height to match them, but it says the difference will be a guy named Anthony Edwards will outplay Luka Doncic in 4 out of those 6 games, and they'll ultimately be able to finish this series in 6. It says Jaden McDaniels will give Luka Doncic hell. All right. PJ Washington will no longer show up. That was just a hot streak, and Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving will have to be on their own, as the big fellas down low will be X'd out by Rudy Gobert and Karl Anthony Towns. Overall, the talent of the Dallas Mavericks and the shot-making ability will be able to win them 2 games, but the Minnesota Timberwolves will close this series out in 6. Let me get these off. This may sound crazy, but for some reason I feel like I just came back from the future. I don't know, but what I was going to say is now it's time for get us cool player today. And I don't care about Tyrese Halliburton big game against the Knicks. I don't care about Luka Doncic's big 29-point triple-double to close out the series. I care about Anthony Edwards and the Minnesota Timberwolves knocking off the defending champs and the MVP, Nikola Jokic. All series, Anthony Edwards has been able to lead his troops into Denver and knock off Denver at home, which is one of the toughest tasks to do in the NBA, especially going against a crowd that's coming off of a strong playoff run and the natural elevation that Denver already has the advantage of. But Anthony Edwards has not only been a great player throughout this playoffs, he's been a great team leader, a great motivator, and not only is he going to talk that talk, but he's been walking that walk. And overcoming the 3-game losing streak in the second round of the playoffs to the defending champs is a task that I did not know he was prepared for. He proved me that he is ready, proved to the world that he's ready, and one that I think is most important to himself is that he proves to himself that he is ready to be the face of the NBA, and I think the championship is his for the taking. They match up well against everyone else the rest of the way, and I think he's just going to have to keep improving as a playmaker so that they can keep winning, because you have to double team the guy. So he's going to see a lot more double teams. Hopefully this team doesn't fall back into that isolation slump that they get into every so often. But if he can prove to be a great playmaker from here on out, the championship is his for the taking. And with that being said, I'm going to make my way out, get some rest, just like Mr. Anthony Edwards, and I'll see y'all in a few days. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share with your friends, and I'll be back.